call the meeting to order. We can't do anything else, we don't have a forum yet, but we can call it on our great presenter. You all obviously know Michelle Cortez Cruz. I know her pretty well now.
We'll let officer go first.
I asked her. So I asked Michelle to do a presentation on homeschooling, which she's very much involved in. Then she's going to talk a little bit about the New Jersey National Guard. So
New Jersey National Guard.
The floor is yours.
That Michelle boy, I'll tell you. That's my girl.
Not me, that's my kids. There's some handouts if you guys are interested.
Let him make the presentation, and then I'll introduce our new junior commissioner.
Okay. So my husband and I homeschooled our kids for 13 years, right here in Franklin. Yeah, oh yeah. And you know what, we loved it. We actually absolutely loved it. We don't have anything against the Franklin schools, but this was definitely the choice for us. I think on that paper it tells you there are 3.1 million homeschoolers in the country right now. I mean, there's a lot. And in New Jersey, because we're so populated, densely populated, there are a whole lot right here. A lot of Princeton professors, a lot of Rutgers professors homeschool their kids, believe it or not. So,
Really?
yeah, a lot of people. So people come from all ethnic backgrounds. You know, our best friends were kids of color. We had Muslim kids. We had, you know, every socioeconomic background, religious backgrounds, or secular backgrounds. There's you know, just a whole bunch of different people like to homeschool. Homeschoolers save about $51 billion in taxpayer money per year because we don't put our kids into the system, and therefore you don't have to pay for them. The home educated typically score 15 to 25 percentile points above public school students on standardized academic tests like the SAT in particular. When you homeschool, it allows you to really individualize the teaching to your children. So if you have somebody who's slower in math but faster in English, you can take your time in math. And you really don't want to progress, and you have the ability not to progress until your kid understands that math concept. When you're in public school or private school, you just got to go with the flow, and you don't really have too much of a choice. You got to get your extra help at home. But with homeschooling, you can stay on a subject until you've mastered it, and then you can move on. So you can cater to the individual strengths and weaknesses of your kids, which usually explains why homeschoolers have higher academic achievement, because you're able to give extra time to your kids if they need it. And conversely, you can also advance them quicker. If it's super easy for them, you can just breeze right through things. So lots of individual attention for your kids. It offers families the flexibility to tailor the education according to their own needs and preferences. If you have a special needs child, maybe you have a child with dyslexia, or maybe you have somebody who, you know, boys. I have 2 boys and a girl. My kids are all 1 year apart, so the boys were more fidgety than the girl. So I think that is also the case in public schools. Boys have lots and lots of energy, so you can kind of cater to that. You can go at your own pace, you know, do the whole mastery thing of when you master a subject. The best part for me was you teach your children how to teach themselves, which is a good skill, right? You don't get that a lot. You can teach your child how to open up a book and read the lesson, and you know, you can choose to do it with them. You can choose to see if they can manage it on their own, and then you can help them. All kinds of flexibility. It takes way less time to homeschool 3 children, like I did, in a day than it would take to put them in the public school. For example, you don't have to worry about switching classes or you know, a whole period for lunch or gym. And it's not that we didn't do those things. I did feed my children lunch and breakfast and dinner, but they didn't have to take the bus, and they didn't have to go to study hall, and they don't have to, you know, little interruptions like that. So you can get the classes done, you know, just a couple hours. Lots and lots and lots of field trips. Homeschooling moms do lots of field trips. It's usually the moms, oftentimes dads too, but mostly moms are at home. So everything from the post office to you know, going in the back of the post office and seeing how your mail works. I mean, as adults, the moms loved these field trips because who knows what happens back there, but now I do. So any kind of field trip you could think of. What do you guys think is the biggest question homeschooling parents get about their kids? Can you take a guess? It's the one thing everybody always
Social?
says. Right.
I figured
What
it's what
about
my mom
social-
always says.
Right, what about
What's that?
socialization?
Socialization.
Social skill and so forth, yeah.
Yeah.
What now?
Social
Socialization.
Socialization.
Social
Yeah.
skills.
Social skills, okay.
Social skills,
You said
yeah.
so fast, I didn't, I thought fast.
You do talk fast, actually. Well, it's a common misconception. Homeschooled kids, and I know I'm biased, but I'm gonna argue that homeschool kids are sometimes better socialized than kids in traditional schools. You get to hang out with kids of all different ages. The older kids get to help with the younger kids learn from the older kids. We are constantly doing co-ops. We don't sit in our basement with the lights down low and homeschool. We're out doing things with other homeschooling families, and like I said, there are lots in the area. So these kids learn how to interact with other kids, not just in their own age group, but helping kids, throughout all the age groups. Another thing is homeschool kids. We teach them look at the adult in the eye when you're speaking to them and have a conversation. There's a lot of socialization that goes on. So it's kind of a misconception. We encourage leadership as homeschoolers. We did 4-H, we did Scouts, we did Franklin Township Soccer Club. We were involved in everything that all the other children were involved in. In fact, we were even allowed to participate in Franklin's extracurricular activities. The Board of Education allows that. So that's actually, we're very thankful to the Board of Ed for doing that. It's nice, we do pay the taxes anyway, so it was lovely to be able to participate in anything from theater to sports. Lots of co-ops. Sometimes moms will get together. My husband and I, our education is in math and science, so we were able to do those classes, but I also love to teach English, so some moms will take some things, some dads will take some things, and the kids learn from each other and from each other's parents too. And then the other really cool thing is early access to college. You can go to Raritan Valley at the age of, I think you can do it in high school too, right? Don't you have?
Yeah, we have concurrent enrollment programs.
Correct.
Which, although you don't go to the school specifically, you take the courses that are equivalent or
Right.
directly taught by
Right,
those colleges.
which is cool. And back when I was homeschooling, distance learning wasn't such a big thing, the virtual stuff, so we could take our kids to the campuses and they could graduate with an associate's by the time, they were 16, which is pretty cool. You get to skip 2 years of college that way. There's a couple different styles of homeschooling. One is called Charlotte Mason. Charlotte Mason was a teacher in England, early 1900s. That method cultivates a love for learning through engaging materials and experiences like books. A lot of book learning, learning from fiction and nonfiction alike. Charlotte Mason style focuses heavily on reading and nature, going out and doing nature studies in your yard and parks, crafts and activities. Then there are people who do unschooling, which is an actual form of homeschooling, and that's kind of Montessori-like. It's child-led, so you would teach fractions to your child by baking cookies, a half a cup and a quarter cup. And we personally did not do unschooling. It makes me nervous to do unschooling because it's very unstructured, and I'm not that kind of person, but there are lots of parents that are, and their kids turn out to be pretty darn smart. Then there's traditional, where you can get lesson plans, like a company. There are lots of companies, especially after COVID. Company after company provides homeschool materials, and it's K through 12. It's book learning. You get a teacher's manual, just like you do in public school. So that's a very traditional way to do it. And then there's classical education, which is the method my husband and I chose, and that's modeled after ancient Greek and Roman way of teaching their kids. It emphasizes the trivium, which is 3 stages, hence the name trivium. There's the grammar stage, the logic stage, and the rhetoric stage. Each stage builds on the foundation of the previous stage. So it's a really well-rounded education that really emphasizes critical thinking, effective communication, and definitely a deep, deep understanding of every subject that you're learning. That first stage, the grammar stage, it's all memorization. When kids are little, that elementary school age, they're like sponges. You know, you can teach them languages. If you multiple languages in your home, these kids come out speaking 1, 2, 3 languages. You just give them facts and they'll memorize those things. So you could teach your kids in those elementary years the presidents from Washington to Joe Biden, and they will remember that for the rest of their lives, because that's what those little brains are meant to do at that age. They're just like little sponges. So emphasis on phonics and spelling and vocabulary in those early years, the foundations for math and science. We chose to also teach Latin, which is a dead language, but my husband and I, again, were science majors, and SAT, science, Latin is excellent for vocabulary. You can't really beat it. The middle school years are called the logic stage, and that's where you develop your critical thinking and your analytical skills. If you've heard of the Socratic method, you do a lot of asking of questions to your students, and they do a lot of answers. They analyze literature, they identify themes and characters and literary devices. History, you examine kind of the cause and effect of different relationships throughout the world history. And we always study primary sources. You know how you go to maybe middle school and you get your, back in the old days, you got your not sociology, what was it called? What was history called back in the old? Social studies. You got your little social studies book, and that's what you used for the year. Well, instead of that, we use the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Magna Carta. You know, we read the actual documents and we study those. We do use books to help us, like to guide us, and then we do a lot of fiction reading for history. There's a lot of great fictional stories that are historical fiction that kids they absolutely soak that up. They love that kind of stuff. You do a little bit more of advanced mathematics, a little bit more of independent research for your science in those middle school years. And then you have the final stage, which is high school, and we call that the rhetoric stage. And that's where you take all of those things that you learned as you build through grammar school and middle school. You take that logic stage. Oh, and by the way, in the logic stage, we actually taught logic, the subject of logic. I think every school should teach logic. We would have a different society, I think, if people could do logic and then take those high school years, the rhetoric, and they would refine their communication skills and learn to articulate their ideas intelligently. You know, learn logical fallacies, learn how to make an argument and support your argument with reasons and facts. So that's the rhetoric stage. Our kids did debate. That was also part of the rhetoric stage. Essay writing, academic writing. My kids can write a sentence. And I say that because a lot of adults can't write sentences. I know a lot of adults that can't use a capital letter and a period. And I think that some of these things are missing in the school system. Not a criticism of schools necessarily. You know, you do have to teach a lot of children. One teacher, you know, gets a whole room full of kids. It's something that's missing sometimes. What else? Our kids did public speaking. Our library offers the best programs. They do, what's the Toastmasters, I think it is, used to come to the library. I don't know if she does it anymore, but the woman who runs Toastmasters in this area used to teach kids, and we would do that public speaking course right here in our library, and you know, all the other awesome things that they do in our library, chess, all that good stuff. So I'm going through very quickly. In conclusion, homeschoolers succeed and perform statistically better than those that are in regular schools. They participate in all kinds of community services more frequently. They tend to vote more often, and these are, if you ever are interested in where I get this information from, it is available online. I might have put it on that paper. And they succeed at college pretty well, very low dropout rate. So that's what I did for 13 years. You guys have any questions?
I do have questions.
You do?
Yes.
Tell me, Alex, what do you got?
So, actually, a couple of questions. The first question is, yeah, that's wonderful. So the first question is, what are the biggest challenges for homeschooling, for parents?
You know what? I loved it. Sometimes, here's another thing, you hear the socialization thing, but you also hear from parents, oh, I could never do that. I could never spend all that time with my children in one day. So, having 3 kids 1 year apart, there was some bickering sometimes. You know, sometimes, guys, it's time to do your math, and they roll their eyes, but they do that in school too. Like, the teacher says, put your books away, we're gonna have a quiz, everybody goes, oh. So, I mean, it's that kind of thing, but otherwise, this area, fantastic area to homeschooling, because there are so many homeschoolers in
So
Central
you
New Jersey.
share the resources and the kids and the books and
Yeah.
all of them are shared?
You can.
You
You don't
can.
have to. And we didn't do it all the time, but there were times where we would do like a huge history project. We'd study ancient Egypt. That's another thing I didn't mention in history. We started at the beginning and we end at the end. So we started in ancient, not even ancient Egypt, ancient Sumeria. You know, the Crescent Circle, Crescent Circle? No, what's the Fertile Crescent? The Fertile Crescent, the Euphrates and Tigris. Yes, Mr. Tibbs?
No, I was impressed by, when you first started, I was wondering, I would take a negative view, not a negative view, but positive type of view. How are you gonna teach how are you gonna teach the kids? That's the first thing in my mind. And you immediately answered it by saying, you teach kids how to teach themselves. And I thought that was quite impressive, you know.
It's a good skill.
And that takes a hell of a skill to teach kids how to teach themselves.
Yeah.
And I can understand, and I understood everything you were saying, and it reminded me of Alex, because I know Alex was totally into what you were talking. I thought that was an excellent presentation, and I couldn't take my eyes off you explaining what homeschooling was, Michelle Peterson.
Well, we loved it, yes.
So I have a follow-up question.
Already.
You do the testing, assessment and so forth, so.
You can, you're not required in New Jersey, but you can.
Oh, I see, okay.
New Jersey is very lenient. They don't make you report, nothing. I don't have to tell the Board of Ed that I even exist if I don't want to. Some
Gotcha.
states you have to. New Jersey's homeschoolers test so well that the state has always left us alone. You don't hear of a lot of neglected children not being schooled.
So let's say I'm a parent, I only have a high school degree, and I want to do homeschooling. So I don't have the degree, bachelor's or PhD or whatever. Tell me, how can I do that?
You can do it. If you have a high school degree, you can get your kid through high school, and moms do, and they do a fantastic job at it. There are so many resources, and even before COVID, I had so many resources that it would take me weeks to figure out what I wanted to teach my kids the following year. In addition to that, there is online learning. Even before COVID, we had online learning. My daughter did an advanced chemistry class online, and then we performed the experiments with her at home. And by the way, my daughter Samantha, she's got a degree, 2 degrees in molecular biology and biochemistry, and she's an analytical chemist for Merck right now. So we were able to teach those things. Of course, I do have a bachelor's degree in that.
Well, Alex, are you saying
MBA.
that's not illegal not to send your kid to school? That's not illegal?
No, nothing illegal about it. You do have to school them. The children legally, you must school them. You can't just let them sit home all day and play video games or
Right,
anything
but
like
you
that.
have- but it's not illegal.
But
And
absolutely not
who
illegal.
watches this? I mean, is there a government, Board of Education, New Jersey Board of Education that comes once in a while to assess how things going?
Not in New Jersey.
So, okay.
But in
Not in
Pennsylvania, yes, and in New York, yes.
Okay.
So New
Okay.
Jersey, no, and I'm telling you,
See what I'm
we
saying?
do
That's
so
what I'm
well.
saying.
But we perform so well
Yeah, I
that they've never
understand.
bothered us. And you don't, and again, you don't have you would know, you could go to DIFUS and maybe look at their records. Do they have a lot of records of abandoned children that are homeschooled, that are not getting any education? Probably not a whole lot. You probably have some there's definitely public school kids who are truant, or maybe don't have 2 parents in the house, maybe don't have a parent, maybe there's
Get
an
out of
aunt.
here.
So tell me about the cost. So I'm a parent, wanted to homeschool my kids. I have 2 kids. I wanted to know how much it's going to cost me. Of course, I'm paying the taxes.
You're paying the taxes.
Right, so now I have to, how much more money I need to spend besides the time, right?
Yeah.
Just the money-wise,
Yeah.
what will it cost for me to educate my kids
That's
through
a
high school?
Great question. So you can do it anywhere from free to spending maybe $1,500 a year per child on materials. just like college books, you know, you go and you get your biology book for your bachelor's, Biology 101, and for some reason that book costs $235, you know, just the book. Homeschool, you know, educational books tend to be a little bit more expensive. And there are programs, and there are the, you know, this and that you can do. You can take part in a church, you know, there's so many extra things, so those costs can, but if you don't have a lot of money, you can absolutely homeschool your kids.
But, you know, to do some science and all this project, art and so forth, we got to buy a lot of materials too, you know?
Sometimes, yep,
Yeah.
you do have to buy some
But
stuff.
can you share with other parents?
Absolutely share. We did that a lot, because
You got
not
to do a lot of sharing.
you know, not every mom wants to open up the glitter in their living room, so, you know, one of us will do it, and it was usually at my house for some reason.
Vocabulary analysis.
But, and then we would do
Everybody
like a co-op of, what we try to do is tie things together. So if you're doing history and you're teaching middle age, thankfully I homeschooled before I turned 55 because I can't think of anything anymore. The Middle Ages, right? I'm middle aged. The Middle Ages, if you're teaching that, then you can teach the science of Galileo and you know, Isaac Newton and all those kinds of things. You can actually tie all these things together. And there are programs who tie it together for you so that you don't really have to think too hard on it. They'll give you a lesson plan and you can follow it. But yeah, it could be super expensive, or you could really do it for close to nothing. It is possible. The library has excellent books.
As always, great presentation. And just one question. When your daughter started looking for colleges, actually it's not good.
Yeah,
They're
they're-
on now.
they're-
But when your daughter started looking for colleges, how did you present to the college that she was homeschooled?
Transcripts, detailed transcripts, just like you would get at the high school. And I would argue that mine were pretty impressive because my daughter did some really amazing studies in her high school years. And by the way, she got a full tuition scholarship to Bryn Mawr, which is one of the female Ivies, the original female Ivies. $86,000 a year she got. Because can you imagine sending your kid to, you know, even sending your child to Rutgers costs you a fortune. But yeah, so my daughter got a full tuition scholarship, and my boys are different because they've been going to Raritan Valley Community College. That's paid for by one.
The Army has to.
Yeah, they're paid for with the GI Bill.
Does the, last question, does the universities make a preferential treatment for the students that are homeschooled versus public schools?
I wonder if they do now. Back in the day, so my guys are in their mid-20s now. Back then, it was just becoming more popular. The colleges were just sort of getting used to the fact that there were a lot of homeschoolers coming to apply to college. So, but their resumes, I have to say, look pretty good. Our transcripts look good. We always provided the books and the exact, you know, like when you're studying classical writing through Aesop and Homer, it looks impressive, and honestly, it is impressive because your kids are learning excellent. You know, you can cater to exactly what you want to teach them.
Okay, did you break?
How many hours a day did it take? Did you break it up, or is it?
You can be super flexible. If you had a doctor's appointment in the morning, or if you wanted to do a field trip in the morning, you could homeschool at night, and you could get it done in just a few hours. Because your kids are really learning how to teach themselves at a certain point. Maybe not so much in the elementary years, but later on in middle school years, you know, you get homework in middle school. It's almost like homework in a way.
Okay.
Did you pick out like one room to be like a
Some people have a
classroom section,
homeschool
or did
room,
you go inside the bedroom, or?
and some people use the kitchen table.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And the same kitchen table that we had during homeschooling is
So
very
talking about
well
like
used.
8 hours a day?
No, gosh, no.
No?
Oh, no. When the kids are little, you can teach them very quickly a lot of things in 2 hours. And then 4 hours later on. I'm telling you, you don't have to get on the bus, you don't have to change classes, you don't have all the auditorium events. Or, you know, 4 hours of solid study, you're good.
Okay, great. Now, I apologize for the attendance matter. Usually we have good attendance matter, so, but graduation and everything else. Do you want to talk a little bit about the National Guard?
Yeah, New Jersey National Guard
Just a little.
deployed. deployed 1,500 soldiers. 1,500 of our guys and girls from New Jersey are now serving in the Middle East. And there is a conflict there, so it is an interesting time to be serving. My two guys are in artillery. The majority of the National Guard, and Phil Murphy announced this, so it's not a secret, they went to Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. My two guys did not. They are out in little outposts. They're not together. They're about 50 miles apart from each other. They won't see each other during their entire deployment, I'm sure. But the National Guards throughout the United States do deploy. They rotate. So if you're a National Guard, it doesn't necessarily mean you're protecting your state or deployed to a hurricane or something like that. You do actually go overseas.
You're not from this unit here.
They signed up at this unit. So this unit does a lot of recruiting. These guys go to all the high schools.
Right.
My sons, one of them signed up at 17 years old and the other one at 18.
Nice.
The one that signed up at 18 went active duty, Special Forces Artillery, and served in Fairbanks, Alaska. So it's interesting. He went from minus 40 degrees, literally, to he's in 115 degrees.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, those guys, I didn't complain at all last week. I wanted to, but I bit my tongue because my guys are out there, and all, not just my guys, though, 1,500 of them plus, right? There's plenty of people overseas, full military gear. They're not allowed to go to the restroom without their helmets on, without their weapons. So I mean, they're carrying 50 pounds of gear on their bodies, just like I'm sure you guys carry a lot of gear too. And it's 115 degrees. Interestingly enough, my guys are in the little outposts. They don't have a DFAC. I forget what that stands for. Do you know? Is it the same in the police academy? It's the food. They don't feed you necessarily. My guys get a small stipend, but they have to use the cash that they brought to go out and buy their food every day. So they have to go to the market, which I think is, as Army mom, I say, fly me out there, I'll cook them food all day long. Don't send my boys to the market, but they do. They go to the market. It's very interesting. I don't know too much now. They can't tell me, too much, but maybe when they're home, I'll learn more. But we do have some pretty brave men and women from New Jersey, moms, dads, spouses, children, serving in the Middle East right now.
Thank you, Michelle. As always, I said, I apologize. We don't have a quorum, so thank you. I appreciate the presentation as always. I knew it would be great. Okay, so we don't have you can stay. We're gonna end very quickly.
Yeah.
We don't have a quorum, so I can't okay the minutes. But I do want to introduce our new junior commissioner. He's known as Athir?
Yeah, Athir.
That's the way you want to, okay.
Athir.
Athir, yeah.
I appointed you, but Alex is gonna, at the next Township Council meeting, he will officially announce that you've been appointed to the junior commission.
Okay.
And of course, we wish Quinlan the best of luck. He just graduated.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm Boyd Brokers, New Brunswick, the School of Environmental and Biological Sciences.
And I usually go to the graduation. I usually get an invitation, but this year, because it was too hot,
I was there, and believe me, it was hot.
it was very hot. So
I'm glad nobody got
congratulations.
sick.
You've been a great commissioner. You've been a great help to me, and we'll miss you.
Thank you.
But you can come to us anytime. Thank you.
I may show up to one of the meetings again at some point.
Okay.
Is that Franklin High School?
Yes.
I'm so welcome. A police report, you have any police report for us?
Yes, sir.
Because we have no.
So we have our National Night Out, Tuesday, August 6th. We're here in the municipal complex from 6 to 9 p.m. The fireworks, Wednesday, July 3rd. Our food distribution is also good, so the first Wednesday of every month. So we're gonna have it July 3rd also. And it's changed. It used to be over by a Community Relations Bureau building on 935 Hamilton Street. Now we've been doing it over at First Baptist Church.
Yeah, bigger
Trying to
spot, right?
Be a little safer, because everyone was.
Hamilton, that's rough.
Yeah. It's
You doing your food
a
now?
work in progress.
Yeah, the district.
Yeah, the food distribution, first
Yeah.
Wednesday, we do it at the First Baptist.
Are you doing it First Baptist now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
third,
You get all of your food from food bank, right? Or you sell
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, they was doing it on Hamilton Street before. There was
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, traffic is. So we have our youth academy, our police youth academy we're running. It's we start on Thursday, July 11th, it's gonna run until the 19th. And at the end of the month, we're gonna have the Canal Road, the walk and roll. So that's gonna be Sunday, July 28th, from 10 in the morning to 4 p.m. And that's gonna be we're gonna close the north section of the canal between East Millstone and Butler for the July 28th. And the south side of it, which is between Bridgetown Causeway down to 518, that's gonna be August 25th, Sunday, August 25th. Same times, 10 in the morning.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Please.
Yeah, I think one.
I think in September, there is DMV truck,
Yes.
right? I think that's.
I'll get you the date on that. I don't wanna go that far ahead, but
Okay, just a couple of other things. The
17th.
The zoning board had another meeting last week on the Kmart Shopping Center. We did not finish. We're still talking about it. There's been a lot of complaints, a lot of things. So the next the meeting on that is July 2nd, I think.
July the 2nd?
So we haven't voted yet. A lot of people, as you know, are complaining with the parking lot, but you know, our point is when Kmart was there, that parking lot was packed. So all these people are complaining, but I understand they have some concerns about how the young kids are going to be walked from the apartment if it gets approved to McDonald's. So we're still talking about it. And the other thing on the agenda, Edna was still working on the flags on the other town project. We'll hold that off till the next meeting. The next meeting is on July 24th. We're going to be talking about the YMCA and the Township. And I don't have anything else.
So there's a
You have anything
big,
else, John?
Yeah, this is a good couple
there's a
of
big, let me just add one other event that we have in Township on the 29th,
Yeah.
this Saturday.
All right.
There is a big Eid celebration. There's over 500 people have signed up.
Right.
It's going to be at the middle school. It was supposed to be at the
Right.
Chisapsin
What
Gate.
now, what is that?
This is the Eid celebration, so
Yeah, the
it's a pretty big event. I think if you can come, enjoy some food, some
That's
music,
July the
and
what?
others. It's on June 29th,
29th.
Saturday, 5 p.m. at middle school.
Middle school.
That blue
It's
pen?
Jewish to middle
Yeah.
school.
What's your son, right?
It was a different name. though.
Yeah,
No, it's right here.
Was it
Gabon,
Wally?
Gabon, yeah,
Oh,
let me just tell you that,
Got it?
Gabon.
Yeah, you wanna wait for the next meeting?
Or do you two have it at this point?
That was, y'all got two days.
You want to wait for the next meeting?
It's middle school
Everybody
Saturday.
here.
Yeah, it's.
No, I just, two things, it's gonna be simple.
Very brief, go ahead.
Simple thing,
ahead.
what was that date,
Saturday.
This Saturday,
This Saturday, June 29th.
right, 29th, and,
It's called the.
You can't do it exactly.
that's not the concert,
No, no.
it's not a concert, no, it's just the Eid
I had-
celebration.
I had,
and eat,
I had
Yeah,
sent
Eid
EAD.
celebration.
Johnny,
EAD.
Johnny, if
Yes,
you read
please.
your email, I sent that invitation to the whole HRC. So you
oh,
should,
okay, all
so you
right.
should have gotten it.
Well, there's two things I want to,
Go ahead.
I like to throw a little fruit in the game, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Go ahead.
The National Night Out, also.
Yes, sir.
I was all downtown in New Brunswick when we always get there. Are you gonna ride around with on the fire truck and they usually have
Yeah, it's.
They usually have some trucks parked
Yeah.
on the side.
on the side.
Yeah, so the kids
Oh,
can
yeah.
ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they usually have, they go around the town, they had the bunny on the back of the truck, I mean, somebody, they was
I think they did
talking
something like that,
kids, and
yeah.
all if they had the lights on, supposed to have your lights on during the time, and that's what Next Night Out was having your lights on and you the friendly, be friendly with your neighbors and so forth. That's how it was designed. And I was done it several times when it first came about. This other thing, it tickles me to see this whole mess going on about with the Kmart thing. And it tickles me, all you guys, you know, I sit back and look at you guys. Let me tell you what the hood comes from. I'm gonna go down there one day and get up on the microphone. I'm telling Mr. Lerner, everybody in the hood is with you, Mr. Lerner. We would love to see you have some nice big apartments, some affordable apartments, because we ain't got nowhere to live. Now, if you promise this township that you have some low-income apartments in that space there, that's where he first got that idea from, that we will support you as many as we can to have you built, and then you have the clientele for the supermarket, and you have clientele for the Kmart, for the other stores there. You have a built-in clientele. So we wish you would build us some low-income apartments, because we don't have no low-income apartments nowhere in Franklin that's being proposed, and we all desperately need, because you know they running gentrification of us down in the 4th Ward, and they're building all those luxury apartments, and can't never one of us afford never one of them. So yes, we would support you against all them people in there, and they got the traffic violations and the traffic studies and the boo-doo and the boo-doo. We really wish we could get some apartments.
Well,
There is actually low-income
And
apartments.
they never say that though.
Quite a
they
bit.
have,
There-
That's where that first idea came from though, Mr.
they
Lerner.
have some low income.
Where?
In
In that
I'm talking about what you be having all the meetings about all day long,
In the project.
all night,
Come to the
with
zoning,
2,000 people coming to the mic. I just want to let you know,
come to the zoning board meetings.
I am kind of turning out.
Hamilton apartments filled, you know, all the new stuff.
That was
on
okay.
there.
That's what he wants to do.
That was okay for our planning board last week.
But then he got it turned around so many
Some of the
ways.
retail is open.
You're talking about the one that we
Yeah.
had it at Hamilton Street.
They turned it all down.
There was the 5-story at the bottom. They're
That was
gonna have
approved by the
the
planning board.
parking lot and the daycare. And then they have the residential.
Turned
above that, and that
turned it
was
into some low-income
That's
apartments.
consistent with the Hamilton Street.
That's what we need.
Development plan.
Okay.
All of them, they be
Other
mad,
than
but we
that,
all people, 12,000 people up there, they be talking about all this, all we want is low-income apartments. Let that man build some
you
apartments
should
for
be
us.
able to attend this.
That's all right.
These are for high school.
Quinlan,
Some of
good
them.
luck again.
Yeah,
Welcome.
this is for middle school.
We'll talk.
And this is
You'll talk
plan
to him
for
about
middle school.
your position, secretary, and the
These are,
PDF and everything else.
Yes.
Like
He can help you with
APs,
that.
advanced
Yeah.
learning kind of books.
No.
It'll be some of the
You'll send me the,
School, you.
we cannot,
No.
So you
Yeah,
can
okay.
choose.
I'm
this
telling you,
game.
there is so much out there, yeah, you can choose
Okay, so we
anything.
got-
And your kids
we
are in
got
regular
it.
school, do you have children?
Yeah, we'll just do okay the minutes of
Other
last
than-
time and this time.
Other than that,
With 29.
Wow, no, we can send it to
Okay.
him, but like we
Some
can't,
parents do
we don't
after
get council
school.
yet because we
So
don't
if you
have.
have,
I need
We'll fix up the
motion to
minutes and
adjourn.
then once it's declared, you can send this month's minutes and next month's minutes.
oh my
I need
gosh.
a motion to adjourn.
Yes,
I need
it
a
is.
motion. Give me a motion.
A lot of reasons, probably.
Motion.
Some parents
You need
didn't like,
a motion to
because they were
adjourn the
listening to
meeting.
what their
All right,
kids were
motion to adjourn?
didn't like that.
Have to.
Also, some
I have to
parents said, oh, I
do it.
can do this.
Okay.
And some parents.
It is
said,
7:45.